and welcome back to Like Anime, your source for all the anime and stuff.
Sorry.
We're already coughing off mic here.
It was as soon as you started talking, I realized I needed to cough.
I'm wheezing, and joining with me today is coughing. Coughing. I'm just kidding. My name's George, and with me is Tony.
Coughing.
Tony coughing
Mm.
guy.
Yeah. I turned into a coughing, not a Gengar.
Yeah.
A coughing.
That's,
Yeah.
not as cute.
Yeah. And it's not COVID. I know what you're thinking. It's not. I have allergies and I have like a constant nasal drip and it makes me cough. And it's really annoying. And then people are like, oh, you got COVID because you're coughing. And I'm like,
It's one of those things now where someone sneezes or coughs or whatever, like, oh, COVID. But then some people are dead serious. But you also never know.
I'm always serious. Yahoo
Always.
serious.
I can never tell when you're serious and when you're joking.
It's because I'm always serious. So if you ever think I'm joking, then you're just wrong. So
Sometimes I'm like,
I don't know what you were thinking.
Sometimes I think he's got to be joking.
You would think, but
Well, what I'm serious about, as we both are, is talking about some anime.
okay. I thought we were starting with news though.
Yeah. Well, anime news,
Oh, okay.
whatever. But I guess we had some somber news today as we're recording this. Not really related to anime, but
It's sort of ancillarily. Yeah, that's a word. I just made it up, but it's a word.
I think
Ancillarily
sounds
related.
legit.
I know, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure I made it up though.
It'll just be ancillary.
No, because it's no.
Ancillarily.
So it's related in an ancillary way.
Yes.
So it's ancillarily related. That's kind of hard to say. I made up a word that's hard to say. Yay, me.
Woohoo.
I didn't make it up. It just makes sense.
I don't know why we're
Anyway.
cheering, because...
Yeah, why are you cheering about Norm Macdonald dying, man? What the hell?
Yes, legendary
Yeah.
stand-up comedian, SNL alumni.
And Pigeon Voice.
Pigeon voice, and late-night talk show, just wonder.
Yes.
That is Norm Macdonald. National treasure has passed away.
Yep. Today, as we're recording, when you hear this, it will have been a couple days ago. So hopefully you've, dealt with your feelings and this doesn't, cause you to go into a blind panic. But, if you haven't heard about it, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you.
Yeah, you had to hear it on an anime podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, he's beloved. Yeah, love watching those old clips of him on Conan or Letterman or...
I wonder if I could do a Norm Macdonald impression. I was just going to try and do a Norm. Yeah. No, it's not very good.
Yeah, he's a hard one to do. I recommend everyone look up the moth joke. One of my favorite jokes.
It's a nasal sort of voice. Yeah.
Yeah, and a weird cadence. Like,
but no, see, my pitch is just too high. But I don't know.
Let's give it some time.
All right.
Let's not just rush out a
Norm
impression.
I'm the new Norm Macdonald. Yeah. Nailed it.
Get in the comments. We love and miss him, but anyway, he's not that related to anime, and so thought we'd just mention it. But we do have some anime news. We haven't talked about anime news in the past month, which is
not directly anyway.
Yeah, which is on purpose. Kind of changing up the format a little bit, and figured, instead of each week trying to scrounge up, whatever anime news we can, I figured give it a month and we can check in. This will be the anime hangout. We'll also check in on shows we're caught up on or digging of this season, instead of covering it week to week, just kind of mixing it up. And so let's dive in.
Let's do it.
All right. So this is I saw it recently today because there's a new trailer, a teaser trailer that came out, but it's a show we both enjoyed last season. Shadow's House is returning next year.
Yeah, I think it was like the fact that there was going to be a season 2 was announced pretty quick after the end. Maybe even before it ended or something. But It seems like it was a while ago, but yeah, there's a new trailer out, or teaser anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen that yet. Did you watch it?
I did. It's mostly like most of it is kind of like stuff we already saw, and
It's like
then
recap trailer.
yeah, but then the very end of the trailer shows like just a little stinger of I don't even remember what it is, but just hype, but not much, not enough to be like to know what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm excited. I like that show. It wasn't amazing, but it kept me entertained throughout, and I would have been really bummed if it would have ended with the ending we got for the first season.
It was better than 90% of the anime that came out this season.
That is true.
Yeah, it's been a disappointing season, but we'll get to that. What else is in the news, George?
So yeah, moving on. That's Shadow's House. We also have news about. We've talked about Belle, Mamoru Hosoda movie. We're just building it up too much at this point. But I'm excited to see it. But another news story with it, it is now Hosoda's highest grossing film, just barely beating Boy and the Beast.
Box office only, though.
Right? Yes, yeah. Because it's still in theaters there. And then there was some news about G Kids is bringing it to us in North America this winter.
What was that noise?
It was part of the Belle trailer. My phone decided to start playing.
Okay.
So a little teaser there. But yeah, this winter we're supposed to get Belle here in the States, and it better, gosh darn it, be in theaters, because that's I think that's where I'd like to see it.
Yeah, it seems like theaters are starting to. Well, almost all of them have reopened at this point.
Yeah,
at least in some limited capacity. Some more than others, but yeah.
And I assume G Kids got it, so they'll do something. I was disappointed by Amazon getting the final Evangelion film, and then it's just on Amazon Prime, but it was never in theaters here yet.
I'm not disappointed by that.
Yeah, well,
I don't care at all, actually.
Thanks a lot. Moving on, this is a show you watched. I liked the intro song a lot from the first season, as you did. But The Way of the House Husband season 2 is premiering on October 7th, coming up.
If I could remember the syllables to the song, I would sing it right now. Shufu wa logadu, something like that, right?
It's a great song.
Yeah, it's a good song. But yeah, there's a second season announced. Coming out when?
October 7th, it says.
Oh,
on
that's
Netflix.
like really soon.
Yeah, start, as part of the seemingly as part of the slate for next season.
Huh. Yeah, I'll probably watch that.
Yeah, I might go back and check them out. Yeah, they're kind of like these like shorts, right? That just
it's like cute
it's and silly.
So I think the first season was, I forget how many episodes, but each episode was like 3 6-minute sub episodes, basically.
Okay.
So it was like 3 times however many it was. I don't remember how many there were. But yeah, it's like a short form, 6-minute episode show.
But they're just like
except Netflix just said, oh, well, let's make them into like 18-minute episodes or whatever.
Oh, okay, so that was Netflix's decision.
I believe so. I assume so. I don't know. Anyway, but that's
Yeah, I'm curious about it because I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast before, but it's also getting a live action Netflix adaptation, which
I feel like we may have mentioned it, but
often with those mileage varies. But the idea that I'm like, geez, this, it's no joke. This,
but it's not an American adaptation, and that's sort of like the breaking point for live action adaptations. Not that the Japanese adaptations of anime into live action material is always good or ever good, even actually.
Yeah, that's what I was
think about.
I was
going
to say either way, they're. The American ones are definitely poor over like on average. But...
the GTO live action adaptation was really popular in Japan. Yeah. I know, but I don't think it ever got popular in the West at all.
I saw the movie and I watched it over and over and I liked it a lot, but I was pretty young then too, so I'm not sure if it still holds up. But yeah,
it can be a little hit and miss. So we'll just have to wait. Like, I don't know that this needs a live action adaptation.
Right?
To be honest with you, like I'm trying to think like why did they do that?
I don't really want to see the live action one, but it's adding to the hype for it. Like I haven't even seen the
Mm.
first season, but I'm like I'm even more intrigued now. Where I'm
No,
like,
it's so popular they made a live action adaptation of it, right?
yeah, and there's a second season. It's like
Like, have you seen the live action of Ranma One Half?
I have well, I think I have seen a clip
Because
of it.
I think I prefer it actually.
You get out of here.
I know.
Sacrilege. But anyway, for all you house husband stands out there, like they're making it rain, and I'm curious. I'm gonna chime into that. I think check it out. Next, we're gonna be talking about this more, I think, because it's gonna be like next week. But because we're gonna be talking about the new shows coming out. But Science Saru has a new show. I actually think it comes out tomorrow, or first episode does,
Oh, okay.
September 14th, but or 15th. But it is called Welcome, or no,
So yesterday then,
yeah, when this comes out, yeah.
assuming people
We
listen to it
have
on the
to,
day it
yeah.
comes out.
So yeah. By the time you're hearing this, first episode's already out of the Tale of the Heke,
Hmm?
Heike,
Hey,
Heike,
okay.
Heike,
Hey, okay.
Heike.
Oh, okay.
The Tale of the Heke. It looks cute. It's another one of these anime that features a protagonist.
Yes, with the
um,
polychromia. What is it
isn't
called?
it hemato? No,
Heterochromia.
heterochromia.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
But I saw the trailer, and we'll be watching it again soon for next week. But it looks good to me. I'm curious about it.
I'm gonna double check because I don't remember that showing up. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's like an advance release and then like the normal release is after that because that
Oh,
happens sometimes. Um,
that could be.
oh, I don't know. Yeah, it just says episode 1, 11 hours from our recording time. So
Dang.
now you know what time we recorded this.
You want to do that math? But so yeah, that's we'll talk more about that. But Science Saru, I'm a fan of, and I'm curious what they got coming up. So next we got To Your Eternity. Kind of, I guess we'll be talking about this more later in this episode. But it's getting a second season in fall of next year. Is the
Mm,
is the word on the street, yo?
so almost or more than a year after this season ended, then.
Yeah.
All right.
So got a while to wait.
That's all right. Give them time. Do a good job. Don't catch up with the source material. Not that you're in danger of that yet, but take your time.
Yeah.
You don't need to. You don't need to rush out like 50 episode seasons, and then catch up on source material like everything else does. Just
Yeah.
take your time. Make it good.
I agree.
Yeah.
And we will be
I
there.
will be interested to see. Well, I guess we'll get to that later when we talk about what we have been watching.
Yeah.
Because
That's coming up for sure.
I am interested in I'm interested in the next season for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I
Like,
am
where's
as
it
well.
going to go now that you have to wait and find out what the. All right.
Spoilers for this same episode. Kazuo Umezu is legendary horror mangaka. Who I brought him up when we talked about Sunny Boy because he did the Drifting Classrooms from the 70s. Very classic horror manga, and he hasn't released any manga in 26 years, but he's putting out a new manga next this coming January.
What's he been doing?
I don't know. He's 85, so I imagine he's just been enjoying his life.
Just chilling. Yeah. All right.
But I'm curious because I've only read the Drifting Classroom by him, even though he's done a lot of things. But I'm curious, like to come back after that, almost 3 decades. Like, gotta have something, something
Maybe,
up your sleeve.
maybe he just didn't have any ideas, and then he was like, "Oh, you know what? I got an idea," and he spent the last 10 years developing it.
That could be. Maybe it's
going to be amazing.
already completed, just ready to come out.
Yeah.
This I think we talked about, and it's kind of old news at this point. But if you're a fan of Cowboy Bebop, there's the new Netflix live action show that's coming out November 19th. That's when it premieres. And they put out some of the character stills, and some people took issue with it, but I didn't really care. I'm like, they can't really judge based on that. I gotta see what they got.
Yeah. What's her name?
Faye Valentine.
Yeah.
That was the big one, right?
That was the one that everyone was sort of. Some people were up in arms about it, and some people were like, "Hey, chill out, man." So
And
It's a mix.
she's not, the other two are pretty much, but like she's not wearing, her classic outfit, which was kind of in the show like kind of nonsensical. Like it didn't make a lot of sense as an
Yeah.
outfit to begin with. So it makes sense to me that they would not only show a little less skin, like they're still showing like um you know, part of her like midriff or whatever, but like midriff. But yeah, it's not as revealing, but it's still kind of in the spirit of it. I don't know.
Eh,
Fucking nerds.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I
could.
mean,
I mean, it is a much greater divergence than the other costume design,
that's true.
but eh, somewhat out of necessity, I suppose. Um, but it does look pretty different. Like, is the color scheme even sort of different, as I recall?
Yeah,
It's
it's
been
a
a
bit
while since I
different.
looked at it, but
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't know. It's a live action adaptation of a beloved anime. You know it's gonna suck. So
Well, as we talked about,
why does it matter?
most live actions aren't great, but I'm a big fan of the original, so like I'm curious. I'm curious what it's got in store.
Hold on. The what's the Spike?
Mm.
Uh, is it Harold or Kumar?
Um, Harold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's all I gotta say.
There you go. And that says it all. Rounding us out here, we just got a couple more news things, but Attack on Titan, the final season is supposed to debut January
The
again.
fourth half of the final season, or something like
And
that.
it's funny because this doesn't mention episode 76 will be like, the next one to come out, but it doesn't mention, how long the run is going to, how many more we got left still.
Yeah, I mean it's however many they can cram in before they start making movies, I guess, right? Because
Imagine people, I mean, I'm not caught up, but I imagine, I don't know, I haven't heard complaints about it, like, treading water or wasting time. So I assume they're getting somewhere with it. I don't know. I need to catch up on that. So really, that news story is just for me to be like, I need to.
I don't know. I mean, the people that I know, like I'm not watching it, but the people that I know that have been watching it have. It's not that it's treading water necessarily, but they definitely orchestrated this last season, the final season, in such a way that it was, very open ended, and there was obviously more to be resolved and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, there were those that speculated it would just be like they would make a movie now.
Yeah.
But I guess they're doing a season, another season, a second half of the final season.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Which has been done before. Breaking Bad did that, and there's others, but
did they?
Yeah, like split the last season into two parts.
But they split all their seasons.
No, just that one.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That was the only one that had two parts.
I thought they did all split seasons where they had like the mid-season break. I could swear they did. Like that's been a fairly common thing since like 2008. Doing like the.
That might have been a break, but
half season, mid-season break, and then a half season.
As I recall, the last season of Breaking Bad was like each part was like split for a year. Like it was like you get this part, and then next year you get that part.
It's too long ago.
I didn't even watch it when it aired, but this is my understanding. But
I did, and you think I would remember that, but I don't even remember my name or your name or.
Well, Your Name is a popular anime film.
My Name is a popular anime film. That's a long name. Hello. Welcome to the Like Anime podcast. I am a popular anime film. And
Can you guess which one?
And I'm joined together with, as always, the band. Joined together with the band.
Who?
Right. Copy strike.
Who? Okay.
What's next in the news? The band.
Made in Abyss. The season 2, we recently covered the movie, which continued the story of season 1, and now we're getting season 2, which will continue the story of the movie that continued the story from season 1.
Or it continued the story of the second movie, which was a recap of the second half of the first season. Yeah, basically, we covered the third movie, which was the first new thing since the season, except there were also two movies that just recapped the season. Anyway, so this will be the first new thing since the movie,
Thanks for clearing that up.
other than the other two movies, which weren't new.
But this one is coming out next year.
Does everyone understand? I think I explained that clearly.
And it's called Made in Abyss, the Golden City of the Scorching Sun.
That sounds awesome.
Let's get it. Get it. Sentai Filmworks has licensed it, so we're not sure. We speculated if it would be on High Dive or hopefully be streaming somewhere, but Funimation, Sony now owns almost everything, so I don't know.
Sony owns my soul. Yeah.
They do.
They bought it last week for 120 yen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's considering all the
I thought I was getting premium price on that. 120 yen.
Ew.
I mean, my soul, it's been used.
Yeah. So you're happy to get any return?
Oh yeah.
Investment.
Better than I ever would have expected.
Well, there you go. We're now at least.
I bought a soda with it. The money. Yeah.
You still got a soda here, by the way. So
I
maybe
do still,
maybe
actually.
you didn't need to buy one.
No, I didn't want that soda. I wanted a squirt. You know, the grapefruit flavored soda.
Mm-hmm.
I love that soda.
You love a good squirt.
I love grapefruits.
Yeah, squirt is good. My grandma's really fond of it, and it's yummy. But I have that nostalgic feeling. Speaking of kimochi,
okay.
I don't know. That wraps up the news. Did you have anything you wanted to mention?
Did we mention that Norm Macdonald died?
We did. We
All
did.
right. Well, then I guess that's all I have.
This is the only news you had acquired.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that I have seen or heard over the last 5 weeks related to anime that needs mentioned. So I guess we should talk about anime that we're watching or we're watching.
Well, let's start with, or should we end with it? We have To Your Eternity, which ended.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, maybe we should end with that. Yeah, let's end with that.
All right.
We're real organized today, guys. But yeah, I don't know.
It's funny because on this list of things to talk about here, it says mention To Your Eternity and then talk about if we should talk about it later.
Oh. So it is all planned out.
You made this list. I don't know why you're acting surprised. It doesn't say that you're supposed to act surprised. I'm calling it out. Behind the scenes, people.
Part of my list incorporates stumbling and
there's
searching for words.
Yeah, there's a script, and every and ah is incorporated into that script.
That's right.
It's amazing writing, I tell you.
It's really good, really stellar. Even this, pat on the back.
Those children in Indonesia that we pay 5 cents an hour for this, doing their work.
They're great. Yeah, and we just read it verbatim. Speaking
of children in Indonesia, don't we need to do a shout out this week?
Oh, that's right. I wonder if we should have started with that. But that's okay.
I don't know what that has to do with children in Indonesia.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a funny segue because it made no sense.
As part of our patron rewards, we have a person who is contributing, in a high enough level tier to get a shout out every month. It's one of the perks.
I forget what level. It's the Duke or Duchess.
Oh, that's right.
Of the patrons, right? Because we've got Duke or Duchess, and then we've got Prince or Princess, and then we've got King or Queen. And it's funny because this Duke or Duchess of the patrons is named Anime Princess. You would think a princess would contribute at the level of princess, but we've actually sort of changed around our format now, where we're only releasing one episode a week. So I think the rewards are actually probably almost the same between a couple of the tiers now.
Oh, okay.
Because of that, because we were doing 3 episodes per week, and it was like, oh, you get mentioned once per week, and then the other one was like, oh, you get mentioned once per month, and then once per episode. I guess there's once per month. Well, once per episode and once per week are now the same thing. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Anyway, are you going to shout them out?
Shout out to Anime Princess 14. Thank you. for listening and your contributions. It's much appreciated, and yeah, we see you in the Discord every now and then, so it's good.
Yeah.
Happy to have you.
And if you're listening, even if you're not contributing via Patreon or anything like that, and you want to get in our Discord, so if you're a patron, you get access to like a private Discord where other patrons are, and we discuss, I don't know, I guess more private things that we don't discuss publicly.
Ooh la la.
Like anime conventions that exist near where we are located, which we have not revealed where we're located. So, maybe you'll figure out where we are if you really want to know. Not that that's worth money to find that out. Yeah.
That's one of the perks. Find out where we live.
But
through.
But yeah, even if you don't contribute at all or anything, you just want to talk at us or talk to us or talk with us or have us talk to you or
just be a voyeur.
Oh yeah,
observer.
You could totally spy if you wanted to. Yeah. we have a Discord. The link is now on our website. Actually, it's super easy to remember. It's umlikeanime.com/Discord.
Nice.
Just go there and you'll get the invite link into our Discord.
I also added the link to the Discord in the YouTube description if you're listening on there. But yeah, let's get to some anime because we haven't talked about new, currently airing stuff in a few weeks.
What's still airing?
Lots of things.
What have I been watching?
What have you been watching?
Big Brother. I watched something called Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency.
Okay, yeah. That's like
which was from like 2017 or something, but I just never watched it. What else have I been watching? Oh, Star Trek Voyager. I'm on season 6 now.
Nice.
I know there are those of you that are, keeping track of that. Oh, he's on season 6 now. Check that little box.
Now I can turn the episode off.
I like to imagine that there's someone out there actually doing that.
They're just keeping tabs on your Star Trek.
It's like, oh, he said he's near the end of season 5.
Like, I've heard he watches a lot of TV. We'll see. I'm gonna chart this out.
That's right. But yeah, that's mostly what I've been watching, to be honest with you. But in the anime realm,
oh yes, anime.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of shows that we sort of just left hanging several weeks ago. I guess it's only been like 3-4 weeks, something like that.
I think 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay.
And I'll say up front, we, unless you really want to, but in my mind, we're not going to talk about today a few shows that we're going to wait till they're at the end of the season and kind of delve into more.
Yeah. There was a couple of those that we had sort of discussed about
set aside
doing a deep dive on them. Like, I mean, I said it in the podcast before, like, I'm probably not going to have much to say about Peach Boy Riverside until it's over, and then I can give sort of a summation and an idea about the whole thing, because watching, like, trying to cover that as it goes is sort of a mess, like, because of the jumbling of time that they've done for almost no reason. Anyway,
yeah.
So that's one of those ones that, and I know that you had a show.
Yeah, well, I feel similarly for different specifics, but similarly about Sunny Boy, where I'm kind of like want it to end so I can just consume it in as a whole, and be able to make more of a
Oh, so you're not even watching it week to week. You're waiting till it's over so that you can just jam it all out.
Yeah.
I see.
Because I don't know. It's one of those shows where there's a lot of moving parts and it's not always easy to follow. But I feel like it's going somewhere, and
you feel like it's going to be easier to follow once. No, sorry.
Yeah, I do, because week to week you forget a lot of this. I forget a lot of this minutia about
monkey baseball.
What's happening? Yes.
Oh
anyway.
No, I forgot about monkey baseball.
I said nothing about Peach Boy Riverside. Anyway, so those two, and then
that's because you're not watching it. I watched Sunny Boy.
Yeah.
Enough that I can talk crap about monkey baseball. If you'd watch Peach Boy Riverside, you could talk crap about it too.
I saw an episode.
An episode. I saw an episode.
Wow, you're really knocking out the impressions today.
Yeah, I saw an episode of Peach Boy Riverside. It's still bad. It's still just It's like got that sort of, you can tell I'm trying to do Norm Macdonald, but it's
Oh, I
not.
thought you meant Peach White Riverside is still bad. Anyway, no.
It is though.
No, that your Norm, that was good. You're getting closer by the end
Getting
of
it.
this
All right.
podcast.
All right.
You'll have it. Um, the other show that we're waiting on is a show we both like. Is Kageki Shoujo, and yeah, so we're gonna. And mainly the reason for those three is that they may get more seasons later on, but this run is just a one season, thing. So
Mm.
we're like, all right, that'd be nice.
I actually didn't know that Kageki Shoujo was one of those shows,
Oh, really?
but I didn't watch it
Oh, okay.
because I'm pretty much dropped it.
Oh, okay.
I was watching things this weekend. I'm just like, I don't feel like watching that.
Which is the idea for
So I don't know. Maybe when are we doing that? It's a couple weeks from now.
I
right?
think so.
Is
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
the first
We'll
one.
see. I guess we'll see how I feel over the next couple weeks. Maybe I'll be like, I would rather watch that than Star Trek Voyager. That's unlikely to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably already seen half of it by now, right? So
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I actually don't remember what episode I was on, but anyway, yeah. Star Trek Voyager is the benchmark, and it's definitely not like the best Star Trek show ever. But if you're not more interesting than Star Trek Voyager,
wow. I mean, if Kageki isn't making that list, I feel like this really is a weak season for you. But
it's bad.
I mean, it is.
It's
I agree.
really bad.
I agree.
I'm very disappointed by like everything I've watched this season, except possibly Fumetsu no Anate, To Your Eternity.
Yeah, which doesn't even count, but
yeah,
I mean,
because
really.
it's just from last season, really.
Yeah, and it's not even a full season.
My Hero. Should we start with My Hero?
I guess I'm not caught up, but
Yeah.
that's the one that I because like the way we're doing it now is we're not covering all these new shows week to week because honestly there's not a lot to say about 20 minutes of content every week. So it's like you get more episodes to watch, but then it's like when you actually do sit down, there's a priority, right? Like Kageki Shoujo did not make that cut for you, and My Hero was at the end of my list, catching up for today. So it was like, yeah, I didn't get to that one.
Yeah, My Hero was. So my list is different because it's like Crunchyroll versus Funimation, and I did everything on Crunchyroll, and then I said #fuck funny.
Even though you're not having the same issues you were, but you're still a little bitter about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
I get
But
it.
no,
Traumatized.
it wasn't that. It was just that like I watched everything on Crunchyroll, and then like
okay.
that was the next thing that I needed to watch, and
Yeah.
I preferred to watch Star Trek Voyager season 6.
I mean, that's not on Crunchyroll, but no kidding.
Actually, I did in fact have to catch up on Big Brother too because I had fallen behind. But
I see.
it's not like I'm watching F Boy Island or something. How is F Boy Island anyway?
It's over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was crazy how they released it because there's only 10 episodes. They released 3 on the premiere
every
date,
week?
3 the next week, and then 4 on the third week, and then it was just all over.
That is crazy.
And yeah, so I finished that what feels like quite a while ago. But yeah, it was it was entertaining.
All right, we've been teasing talking about anime for so long now. I feel like we probably should talk about
All right,
anime.
we'll
now.
talk about
Right.
My Hero without
You wanna talk
spoiling
about-
too much.
There's not
Bastard.
There's not anything to spoil, to be honest with you. All right, so hey, big hype! My Villain Academia. It's My Hero Academia, but all about villains. What we've been looking forward to. We've got Shigaraki. We've got Toga. We've got other people whose names I don't remember.
What is his name? The sock. Where's my sock? Dobby.
Oh, Dobby. Yeah. Oh, sock. I get it. Dobby, appears in these episodes, as does Toga and Shigaraki. So the first episode of this new arc is, we left off. They were going to meet with the, what are they even called? The League of Villains went to go meet with the people who were trying to make, quirks a normal part of society thing.
Oh, okay.
Whatever they were called. I don't remember the name. I should have written things down. I don't write things down. I don't care anymore.
Yeah. So those guys.
Anyway, so they're going to meet them, and then they basically just attack them and stuff. And the first episode of this arc is mostly about Toga,
Okay.
um,
Whom I love.
which is nice, and we get some backstory and stuff on her. But unfortunately, she doesn't really get to be Toga. She doesn't get to be the Toga we love. Um, so it's a little disappointing,
Okay.
as has been the entire season. So, nothing new there. The next episode was focused on Double, I think his name is. The guy who can like make copies of himself or make
Oh.
copies of whatever.
Yeah.
Like a minor character that we never really get. So his whole backstory and like and then the third was Shigaraki. We got some more of his backstory, which was interesting,
Okay.
but still just presented in that same boring, bland My Hero Academia manner. Yeah, this show,
Just exposition dump, kind of.
the show just sucks, man. That's all there is to it. To be honest with you, like, I feel like if you had watched it, you would be able to argue with me at this point. So I'm sort of glad that you didn't. So I can just say this show sucks. I'm sick of it. Give us story. Give us something interesting. Like, you give us little tidbits of interest, like, oh, Toga's backstory, yeah, and oh, Shigaraki's backstory, okay. But like, it's presented in such a bland, uninteresting, unexciting.
Yeah, that sucks.
I don't know. I've been disappointed with this entire season, and I mean the last half of last season as well. Like, we're well upon a year of being disappointed in this show, and I might be dropping it. I'm not sure. We'll see
Yeah.
how I feel the next time that we're doing a catch up on whether I watch any of it or not.
I mean, I've considered it.
I'm not sure I
too.
want to.
Yeah. I've just been down this road so many times with like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece. It's like with these sprawling action shonen, it's like it just the anime gets to be tedious, and so I don't know. That's what drives me nuts. Is like I don't know if it's like the content or if it's just that they're spreading it super thin to the point where it's like not really maintaining tension or intrigue or anything that would that it used to have, because it used to be more exciting and more gripping.
Yeah, I mean, so like the whole framework of all of this is the battle that's going on between the League of Villains and the I don't know, the Quirk Endowment Society, whatever they're called. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
So that's like sort of the framework, the background of what's happening, and then we just get a bunch of backstory dump and stuff, and I don't know. Yeah, it's just not interesting.
Shucks.
It could be more interesting. And honestly, the only reason I watched this and didn't drop it is because I went out and had a couple drinks with some friends like a week ago, and one of them asked if I was caught up on My Hero, and then we talked about it, and he told me he was pretty disappointed in it as well, and I was like, all right. He's like, yeah, I don't see why this My Villain Academia thing is so hyped, because it's nothing. It's just the same show. It's just villains instead of heroes. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's exactly what he said it was. And so I had lowered my expectations already, and I guess it delivered sort of on the level of my expectations, but
yay, delivered.
Yay. You told the minimal amount of story you could get away with and still keep me watching the 3 episodes.
I didn't expect much, and that's what I got. Well,
yep.
I will at least finish out this season, because this one's coming to a wrap right at the end of this season. So I'll at least see that through, and we'll probably have an episode where we recap on some things we're not doing like a deep dive on, much like this episode. So look forward to that. We'll see if we have anything to argue about, or if we're just in complete agreement.
I don't even know if I will have watched any more of that by then. That's
fine.
Where I'm at. Anyway, what did you watch? What have you been watching? What
I suppose
watched you?
Since you watched that one, I'll pick one that you didn't watch, which I know you didn't watch because you
don't know anything.
Weren't watching it to begin with. But it's Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Oh, I totally caught up on that.
Oh, it really?
Nope.
So I had 4 episodes from the last time we talked, I talked about it, and it was rough because the first 2 were focused on characters that I'm not a big fan of, characters I've complained about before, where it's like their personality traits are too like revolve too much around being pervy or
Mm.
stuff like that, where it's just like,
Yeah, it's not like I'm watching Prison School here,
yeah,
where I
exactly.
expect that, right?
And it's like central to the plot.
Hmm.
Yeah. But it's like there's some element of that in other characters that like I'm either fine with or it can sometimes be funny. But with these characters, the ones that was focused on, I just couldn't do it. But then I got through it. But then I got to the third and fourth episode that I was catching up on, and they were quite good. They gave more backstory into I'm trying to remember her name, but it's one of Toru's friends, not Fruits Basket, but different Toru. But one of her like frenemies, and you
No,
kind of
Tor's the dragon, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know this.
Oh yes, yeah. I was just making a Fruits Basket reference because
No,
yeah.
I understand.
But yeah, we get more backstory into their relationship, and yeah, it was yeah, some sweet moments, some funny moments, and I'm trying to remember what the fourth one was. I think it also tied into that. But yeah, it was good. It's one of those shows where it's like I have to, unfortunately, I definitely think this season is weaker than the first. It's not as funny, even though there are funny parts, and its focus is a little too much on the perviness of other characters, like having whole episodes about them. It's just like
Mm.
I just don't care. So it's kind of like unfortunately one of those things where I have to like cut that out. I like these parts.
Just delete that from memory and move on.
Yep. And I don't really need to go
I
too in
wonder.
depth.
I wonder which is worse: having episodes that focus on characters that you really like that just don't deliver,
Mm,
or having episodes that focus on characters that you have no interest in.
yeah. And that's my thing
I
is
don't
like as
know.
long as like the ones on the characters I do like, as long as those do deliver, then
Right.
it's a little easier to put up with the ones that I could just delete from existence.
Yeah. I was trying to compare it to My Hero, where they like
Oh,
we've got Togo, we've got
oh yes,
Shigaraki,
yes, yeah,
but like, I mean, they deliver some amount, but not. It's unsatisfying,
yeah.
and it's sort of the same thing. Like they're talking about characters that you don't care about, and that's unsatisfying. I wonder which is more unsatisfying.
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably the My Hero one because
You
you're already
think?
invested with these characters.
I
But
mean, well, I guess you're not invested with those characters that
the
they're covering,
specific, yeah.
but you're invested in the story and the other characters that they're
Mm.
not covering,
Yeah.
which is disappointing. And I understand. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah. It's kind of a wash, I
yeah, it is
suppose.
kind of a toss up. I don't know. If you have an opinion, get at us on Twitter, on
Discord
Instagram,
online.
online. Yes, we have a line account. Did you know that? You can hit us up online, man. Slide into our DMs.
Just get online, go to line, and then you'll be online and drop us a line.
I said slide into our DMs.
Or that. I mean, we're both single. Um, so yeah, that's about all I got for Kobayashi. I will still keep watching it. I love, and that's the thing is I love the main characters. Kobayashi and Toru being
Mm,
the
yeah.
main two, and then there's a few others around them that I really care about, and so that's what keeps me coming back. And it's funny. There was a joke that I was going because I've done that, this season where I've like explained some like one dumb silly joke, and I
Mm,
got a chuckle out of you the two times I remember doing it.
okay.
But now I can't remember. There was one in this show or in these episodes I watched. I can't remember. I didn't take notes on it,
Huh.
so I got nothing. But let's move on. What do you got? What you got? Anything that you're caught up on that I would not be?
Well, Remake Your Life,
Oh
or
yeah, that's right.
Remake Our Life, I mean, is the name of the show, not your. Um, Remake Our Life. Uh, you are not watching it. I have been. I've been enjoying it. Uh, so in the episodes since we last talked about it, sort of a major plot change occurs in that. So our main character has basically traveled back to his past self and gone to a different college than he went to initially. And then he sort of meets up with people that he knows will eventually become people that he sort of idolized in his later life as people who had succeeded and stuff like that. And he gets to work with them, and he sort of becomes the boss type guy of this group of friends, and is sort of, dictating how everything goes and making sure everything stays on schedule. And they were in the middle of making a game that they were going to release at Comiket or whatever they call it in the show. And with his help, they managed to make this release deadline. And then he suddenly jumps back to the future, and not just back to the future, but to the future of the future from which he was.
Okay.
So he was in, what was it, 2014, and he jumped back 10 years to like 2004 to do this college thing.
Okay.
And then he jumped from there to 2016.
Wow.
Where he finds himself married to and has a child with one of his college friends who he had idolized in his previous life, but who now doesn't do the thing that she did in his previous life. I don't know. This
is the new timeline.
Right?
Since he chose to go to this school.
So all the changes that he made in the past are now reflected in this future, which again is the future of the future that he came from, even, right?
Yeah.
He's jumped 2 years past where he initially started, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, and that's sort of where we're going from now. Like the next episode after that and the episode after that all seem to be in this future timeline, and him trying to adjust to that, and some of it is him trying to realize his mistake that he made in the past, where he changed things too much and resulted in this future that he hadn't intended, right? Like he was a little too hands-on, he was a little too involved in their lives, and he changed all of their lives, essentially, these people that he looked up to. And now he's sort of trying to not do that, right? Because he's like, well, before I was very like involved in all of this stuff, so now I'm just gonna like kick back and like let things go the way that they're supposed to go without me interfering with them, because he felt like he had interfered in the past. Anyway, and that's sort of where we are now. Like, we don't know exactly how it's going to go from here. We don't know if he's going back to the past again or what's going on. It feels like that's probably what's going to happen, is he's going to go back into the past again to sort of try and correct his prior mistakes that he made, right? But yeah, I don't really know where it's going, but
which that would, it sounds interesting, but that if he goes back and keeps doing that, it brings to mind Tokyo Revengers for me.
I mean, it does have like a similarity to that in the the back and forth thing, except that, like I say, instead of it being him going back into the same timeline that he left previously, he went back, he changed things, and then he goes to the future from his original timeline that we saw him in. So yeah, I don't know. It's different in that regard, and it's also, more interesting because it's not a middle school student that like he goes back in time. He's like, oh, that's right, I used to wear stupid clothes because I was in middle school.
Yeah, well, it's like college age, so it
right
reflects that maturity level.
I guess, but at the same time, he's not going back and saying, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot 4 Non-Blondes was popular back in 2004. He's not, you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
Everyone knows what I'm saying. Anyway, yeah, it's interesting. I wasn't expecting the twist, and when it came, I was like, really? That's what we're doing? All right. Huh. And now I've just been sort of sitting, waiting until he ends up going back into the past again. So to surprise me, maybe he won't. And he's just going to live out his life from here, 2 years in the future of where we first met him, but in an alternate timeline. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it kind of turn everything on its head.
I mean, it's not like Steins Gate type of crazy time travel stuff or anything, but it's got some wrinkles in time.
Yeah. Well, now it brings to mind, like,
Hey, did anyone catch that reference I made to the Madeleine L'Engle novel? Yeah. All right. Anyway, what were you saying?
I'd be wondering like where we're going from here, like what the
Yeah. I definitely am. I'm
like,
not sure exactly what. like I say, I've been sort of assuming that we're going to go back again somehow so that he can correct the mistakes that he made in the past, but he can't. I don't think he can go back far enough that he gets to overwrite them. He has to then correct from the mistakes that he already made, right? That's the only way that it has any meaningfulness, right?
Yeah. You can't just just keep redoing it.
But yeah, it's thus far it just sort of keeps going on this new timeline that's been established, and I don't know. Maybe it won't go back, which would surprise me, which, would be good. I like to be surprised.
Surprises are nice. I was quite surprised by this next show.
Oh, yes? Which show is that?
Because I was expecting to drop it.
No.
Fina, Pirate Princess.
Oh, I did drop that.
For anyone that listened to when that show first came out, the first 2 episodes debuted, and we talked about it, and I was very disappointed, and I was pretty harsh on it.
Yep.
And Tony was like, "I don't think you're being fair," and I was like, "Well, fine." And so came back around this time to be like, "All right, what shows was I watching?" I was like, "Oh, this is one of them. Okay, I'll put on the 3rd episode, and I'll just expect it to annoy me or do something that warrants getting dropped." So I went into it with the perspective of I'm going to drop this, and then I ended up catching up on it. So
yeah, it was interesting enough that you pushed through, huh?
Yeah,
that's good. I was just I vaguely remember where I left off with the show, and I was like, I really don't care. I really don't care what happens to any of them. Like,
yeah.
It felt very episodic. Like I felt like I knew where it was going. Like, we're going to have an episode, they're going to go to this island and shit's going to happen, and then everything's going to be resolved, and then they're going to go to a different island, shit's going to happen. And is this what happened?
Mostly up until this last episode. But that's what kind of got me, because I had this realization that a lot of my criticisms from the get-go still stand. Where like I feel like a distance between like the viewer, like me and these characters that like clearly we're supposed to care about, but doesn't really like get into their heads, or like, it doesn't really show who these people are and like why we should be caring. It just kind of like, oh, this is what's happening. It's kind of all like told to the audience instead of felt.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah.
I feel that's accurate.
Yeah, I think so.
But then I got into what got me was like, well, it is a good looking show, and I like a lot of the character designs. And then I got into it was more of the comedy, which wasn't that funny, but it was just more of a like I don't know. I just like the dynamic of when she gets on the ship with the ninja guys or whatever they are. She starts to learn them better. There's the girl that she's like the gunsmith or whatever. She became one of my favorites. She's just, got an attitude, and she's like this short, young thing, but doesn't take anyone's shit. And Fina then starts to learn from them. There's like a montage of them like helping her train, to learn how to fire a weapon and aim a bow and sword fight and stuff. And so she's learning more. And I just kind of got into like their kind of day to day, like on the seas. I didn't really care about like the overarching plot and like this mysterious artifact that they were investigating and like trying to learn more about. It was just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, it's probably better to ignore that, because like I feel like it's very much going to go the way of like One Piece, where like we're initially introduced in One Piece to the idea of the, what's it called, the central thing that they
well, the One Piece.
Okay, the One Piece, but no, the broader than that, the place where they go.
Oh yeah. Well, there's like, I don't know, I guess there's the Grand Line.
Yeah, the Grand Line.
Yeah, the Grand Line,
We're introduced to that idea very early on.
Yeah.
Are we there yet?
In One Piece?
Yeah, on episode 1000 and whatever we're on.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
We're actually being on the Grand Line at this point.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Well,
but yes,
how many episodes did it take? 700, 800?
To get to the Grand Line, it didn't take that long. But
really? Okay.
I mean, it's probably like Like,
See, I'm not caught up on One Piece.
Yeah.
I've only watched the first 13 episodes, I think is all. But
it's probably
I
like
know that
70 or
it's-
80 episodes till they get to the Grand Line. So you're not
Oh,
wrong.
really? Is that all?
You're not wrong in the sense that, and
Huh.
then they're on the Grand Line for like many hundreds of episodes, you know, from that point. But you're not wrong in the sense that like it's introduced immediately or pretty
Yeah.
early, and then you know you don't actually get there for you know because 70, 80 episodes. That's a you know for most anime, that's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not that many episodes into Fina, so
Yeah.
you know, I got a ways to go.
For real, and I'd be surprised if this had that longevity, but or anything near you know 70 to 80
Yeah,
alone.
right. That would be a success as far
Yes.
as the show is concerned. I
That'd be a
think
big
yeah.
success. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
See, I don't know. This the final episode, you know, the most recent one, kind of disappointed me. It's bringing this guy back from the first episode, who is, he's like, you know, sort of the pretty boy we didn't know much about that saved, you know, trying to remember. There was some like the unruly guy that like had purchased
Oh.
had purchased.
I know who
Fina.
you're talking about.
Yeah, the guy that like you know calmed him down or whatever.
Yeah.
He has kidnapped, quote unquote, Fina. He's used these other pirates. He's hired them surreptitiously to track down the ninja people, and they they sealed them in a cave at the end of this episode prior, and then picks up from the newest episode, and she's been kidnapped. Although we learn that he is on her side, and he's like you know my princess. He calls her you know. He considers her royalty, and so there's like more to that, I guess. And he's trying to tell her that these these ninjas that she's become accustomed to, and the one I forget his name, but she knows him from way back when.
Yeah.
These memories she has of him saving her.
Yeah.
The first time, but supposedly according to this guy, that's she's in his custody. He's saying like, no, they're the bad guys, and I'm good. And it's not really clear what's going on anymore. But it kind of I didn't like it because
Okay.
it took me away from what I was enjoying, which was her and the the ninja
And the tsundere ninja guy.
yeah, well, not so much. I mean him. Yeah, their relationship has has advanced a little bit. But just
that's
her
good,
and
I
all
guess.
those people, I started to like them, and now all of that's.
Is their relationship romantic? Or has it not advanced that far?
Yeah, it hasn't. Well, it hasn't really got that far. There was a point where they go to this island, and this like older, but not old, but like older than Fina, and like very pretty girl is a local girl is like kind of like taking an interest in him, and is really like it really seems like she desires him or whatever, is attracted to him. And you can see Fina like kind of fuming, she doesn't like it. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of, which I kind of like too. Like it was showing that she's still, immature, but she wants to be an adult, and but she doesn't know how to reconcile these feelings of jealousy or or whatnot. So I don't know. There was several good things like sprinkled in that weren't part of that main plot. Like we said, you said probably shouldn't focus on. Probably good idea, but I don't know. At this point, I'm like 5 episodes in, so it's at a late start.
Oh yeah, it started late. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll probably keep watching, but it's definitely on that line, and it brought itself only closer to to being dropped.
It's on that line, the Grand Line, or
No, it wishes.
no? I think I'm mixing it up with a different pirate show. I can't remember the name of it, but
Well, that's a daunting task. I'm gonna make a pirate anime.
yeah,
Good
right.
luck with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, what else do we have to talk about? I think we only have one show left, as far as I know, unless there's something else that I'm forgetting.
There's two that I.
Oh, you have two left.
Well, I think.
Well, there's one.
Aquatope.
There's one that we've both watched, which is
Aquatope.
Aquatope,
And the other
Yeah.
one is not a full length show. Then probably don't really need to talk about Yamishi.
Oh, yeah, Mishibai.
That's
yeah.
the only other thing.
I as easy as it would have been to catch up on that, I didn't.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just was like, it's always there. It's one of those things that it's always there. I can
Yeah.
always,
And
go and I can watch all of it in like a half an hour. Well,
they go down smooth too. I'd
yeah.
say.
Yeah.
I actually didn't watch the latest one, but
Mm.
I was behind even where you were. So I
Oh,
caught
right.
up on a lot of those. But one that you'll probably remember that I liked, and it kind of threw me off at first, but because I was watching on my iPad, but it's completely animated in a vertical,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, as the
That was
well.
the what was that? There was some special. What was the reason for
Oh,
that?
there's some significance.
No, I just remember there was some, not holiday exactly, but it was released, I think, as a web only thing. I don't think that was released as a TV thing.
Which makes sense
Because
because it's
that was the week that that episode and another actual TV episode were both released,
mm,
and they're both on Crunchyroll. Um, I don't remember what the reason for that was. Anyway, uh,
it's interesting.
there was something. There was some reason that I thought of before. Hey,
Mm.
go back to like episodes ago and hear me talk about it, and then you'll know what I thought it was
There you go.
on why they did it. But anyway, so you watched that one.
Yeah, and I watched several, but that one really stuck with me. I liked they used that that sort of portrait
Yeah, portrait mode
yeah
video.
to great
Yeah,
great effect because
yeah.
it all takes place in a well
Yeah,
and
it all seemed very intentional and yeah, well
yeah
done, I think. Yeah.
yeah that was really good. And there's some other ones that were good too that I saw, but that one I don't know. It's weird talking about this show because it's not like they go down really smooth, but then there's really not much to say because
I mean, there's not much to them, but
yeah
occasionally there's a really good one. And you haven't watched all of them, so
yeah
I don't know. Your scale is not calibrated the same as mine.
for sure.
The well one I thought was really well done.
Well done.
Yeah. Uh, Probably one of the better episodes overall, but I'm not even sure if it is top 10. It maybe
Mm.
is scrapes the bottom of the top 10 as far as best episodes of Yamishibai ever.
Mm. Okay.
But yeah, I'm always interested to see like, when they nail it and when they just whiff.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
they whiff a lot. No kidding, man.
Yeah.
They just,
Sometimes like they'll just end abruptly and it's not really like a sting. It's just
right.
yep. And then they were done.
And then sometimes the story just like from the understanding that I have of storytelling doesn't make sense that it goes the way that it does. Like, yeah, standard storytelling, people do bad things and they get punished for it.
Mm-hmm.
People do good things and they don't. And then sometimes in this show, people who have done nothing wrong are just brutalized for no reason.
Yeah.
And then the show ends and you're like,
Yeah.
wait, what am I supposed to get from this?
There's not even like a reveal at the end of
Yeah.
But it was this the whole time. Nope.
No, just ends like, oh, sometimes that just happens. Sometimes you just walk down the wrong alleyway and get assaulted by flower monsters. I made that one up. That wasn't an actual episode, but it was actually a combination of two episodes that I threw together.
Nice.
But yeah, I don't know. It's always interesting to watch just to sort of see if it's good or not.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it only takes, 3 minutes, 6 minutes? How long are the episodes? I don't even remember.
It says 4 minutes on
4 minutes,
Crunchyroll,
okay.
but I think it's probably rounding up a bit.
Yeah, well, you've got opening and ending and
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess outside of Yumishibai, we just got 2 more shows.
As you were saying, the last thing that we have to cover.
Well, second to last, but ongoing is Aquatope. We still have Tear Eternity. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we put that one off. I forgot.
Remember that was in the script to talk up front about whether we were going to put it off to the end or
Yeah,
not.
and this is in the script too. Why are you? God, you write down the words and you tell me to say them, and like, why are you writing this down and telling me?
You're a really good actor.
It said that I was supposed to stop talking there.
And I was supposed to compliment you on your acting.
Yeah.
And then explain what I was doing. But yeah, Aquatope, you're caught up on this?
Yes, I did catch up on. It was actually the first thing that I caught up on. I had fallen a little bit behind. But yeah, I mean, nothing much has changed, honestly. Like it feels like it's just sort of, going through the paces, keeping the show going. Like, were there any major? Was there anything major that happened that I'm like forgetting?
I mean, yeah, there's
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
yeah. Well, there's a whole thing that well, clearly, what here's why I'm concerned because in the latest episode, the end of summer is nearing, and what's
Yeah.
happened, and so like that's the deadline of when the aquarium is supposed to close,
Right.
and so that's the whole premise of the show, right? Is trying to save it before it closes.
I don't know that it's before it closes, but trying to
Okay,
save it. Yes.
yeah, but I mean, I guess that's true. It could close and then they could reopen it somehow, or
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. I hadn't considered that.
I mean, there's 24 episodes, so I don't see how they're getting out of this the way that they've sort of written themselves into this corner.
Yeah, and
It's
that's what I was saying.
it's gonna close,
Yeah,
but it may reopen.
and that's what I was thinking initially because I was like, okay, if this show is going to be 24 episodes, I was imagining this summer that they're, which was nice in the beginning because it lined up nicely with our summer.
Right.
But I thought, and the whole summer season, but I thought like they were going to stretch that summer out, like,
Oh.
like it was going to be a bigger part of the story since it was so, all that pressure, but clearly not. But the big thing that happened, I think, is that Fuka got a
The
offer
offer, yeah.
to be a star
Okay.
in some movie from one of her idol friends reached out to her because they couldn't get a hold of her, but anyway, the end of the summer is also the deadline for that.
Yes. So we've also got Fuka, former idol, who may or may not be leaving Okinawa. Well, I mean, she's leaving anyway, but she may or may not be leaving Okinawa to
Mhm.
work on a movie.
Yeah,
But does it matter that she's working on a movie, or if she's just leaving because she promised her mother that she would go home at the end of summer?
yeah,
Um,
but then Kukuru,
and is
yeah,
it easier to break one of those promises than the other? Not that she has a promise with the movie director, but she promised her mother that she would be home, and her
that's
mom
true.
wants to spend time with her.
Yeah,
But yes, Kukuru has said, like, oh, well, I was hoping that, things would go well and she would decide to stay. But that's an unrealistic expectation
yeah,
on her part, which
yeah,
we've sort of come to know her for having unrealistic expectations of things.
yeah.
So,
Because they're both still really young and not emotionally mature enough to
mm,
be like, okay, like when Fuka told her, fine, because she didn't want to tell her at first that she got this offer,
right.
and then she finally does. Kukuru can't find it in her to be like to support her and like to or actually talk to her about it. Like she is more of a selfish reaction where she has to just like storm out, and not address it and just gets sad over it. So I imagine in this upcoming episode they're going to address that. They've a lot of the show has been about them kind of having misunderstandings and then coming
Mm,
together, reconciling and
yeah.
growing closer. So I imagine that's where it's going to go.
Yeah. And I sort of wish, like, maybe we had another week's episode before we were covering it, because that might offer more insight. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
sort
I'm
of
saying.
wrap.
Like, nothing has changed is because I feel like, Fuka was always going to leave. That's
Yeah,
always been a looming thing. The
yeah,
aquarium's going to close. That's always been a looming thing.
yeah,
Um, and nothing has changed. Like, it's not like the aquarium's not going to close. It's not like Fuka's not going to leave, right?
yeah,
I don't know. That's why I feel like nothing has really changed. We're just sort of we're piling on more than we're moving forward,
yeah.
right?
What's really set in like the whole theme of um I guess just accepting life, accepting things how they are,
Mm.
because Kukuru just keeps, she doesn't want to accept that the aquarium's going to close, but like everyone around her mostly who
I think
people who
everyone
work at the
pretty much
aquarium.
has accepted it, except
Yeah.
for her, right? Yeah.
And so that's what I keep wondering is like, is it really going to be about the aquarium or is it more about, because I would kind of prefer the latter more, where it's like more about Kukuru and Fuka trying to, because it's like Fuka walked away from her dream,
Mm.
meets Kukuru, and then has an experience at the aquarium also, but then decides to take on, and support Kukuru in her dream. But now her dream that she walked out on is calling her back.
Yeah.
And Kukuru, it seems, kind of, views that as almost like a betrayal or like at least
Yeah.
depresses her that she doesn't have that support anymore because it turned out to be so impactful. So to me, at this point, it's like Kukuru, needs an inward journey you know, to strengthen herself and
Mm.
mature.
Yeah.
But because it's like if the aquarium just, oh, I don't know what the reason would be, but like, oh, we're not closing anymore. But if
Mm.
she didn't really learn anything from that, or like the
Right.
I feel like the show is gonna do something there, but
I don't know. We still have all the magical shit going on too.
yeah, that's true.
Like I don't think in the last 3 episodes we haven't really seen the little god, right?
I think you see him. It's just like for a frame though. It's just
Just
yeah.
yeah, for a
He's
second
like
or
there's
something like that.
one recently I watched where he's like just spinning the hat that he stole from Fuka.
He? You think he?
Oh well,
I
yeah,
always thought
she.
she, but
Yeah, you said she before. I didn't
hmm.
mean to.
No, it's. I mean, it's okay. We don't know. It hasn't been defined at all,
Yeah,
I suppose. But
gods are probably transcend gender.
yeah. So I guess the other thing that came up within these episodes, it's kind of funny because like as I was watching the first of these last 3 episodes, I was thinking like, what is going on with the god? Like, why haven't we seen it? If they're gonna like stall it for so long, it better be something important, like Kukuru's older sister that died when she was little, that that she doesn't remember because she drowned in the aquarium and has blocked out of her
Oh
memory or
wow.
something like that. Like I had this crazy idea,
Yeah.
and then suddenly, like the next scene even was Kukuru talking about finding these what do you call it, these cards that they give you at the hospital when you have a child, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like in the drawer underneath her parents' altar. That like there were 2 of them, and so
Mm.
she and she's basically saying like she wants Fuka to be her sister basically,
Yeah.
but that she had or has a sister or brother out there somewhere. She has a sibling of some sort that she doesn't know anything about. And I was like, holy crap, they read my mind. But I don't think it's going quite the dark route that I envisioned. But
But yeah, you're definitely onto something there, because yeah, that's all been laid out at this point.
yeah, like like the fact that they're stalling on it so hard, there has to be some major reveal with that, right?
Yeah.
And then they hinted at this sibling thing, and that's got to come back, right?
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
so yeah, I don't know, but like I feel like there's probably some heavy stuff in the future for this show, and I'm looking forward to it. And I
Mm.
I sort of just wish they'd get to it a little bit faster, but they're milking it a little bit. So
Yeah, and well, I was also disappointed by the. You talked about watching the first of the last three, but
mhm.
the one prior to that, 4 episodes ago, was a very much a throwaway episode at the beach. This little beach episode.
Beach episode, yeah.
The very end of it gave us some, which I liked, but gave us some backstory on. I can't remember his name, but he's the guy that works the aquarium that's doesn't like women.
I don't
um,
remember his name, but yeah, I know who you mean.
yeah, that guy. Oh, I think Kuya. He, yeah. So we got a little bit into him, but the rest of that episode was just, yeah, just fun at the beach, and I was just like, I mean, it makes sense for the Okinawa setting, and they're right next to the beach. Like, it's a
Yeah.
fine fit, but it was just, it didn't help that the next 3 episodes were not completely like throwaway, but they were kind of just, a lot about the same thing about the aquarium closing. Like, it hasn't really progressed beyond that much, but it seems like it's all building. What's about to happen next is being anticipated highly at this point.
Yes.
So, but I'm still into it, despite that. It's an
Oh
entertaining
yeah.
show. It looks really nice. I still have an issue with the red knees.
Oh,
Every time I
the
see a man,
the peachy knees.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they're just like sliding on their knees on the asphalt all day long. Like they never heal.
They're very shiny, those knees. I don't know
Get
why.
polished.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a good show, and it's one of the best of the season, which isn't saying much.
It's true. It's not probably even one of the best of the year, but I mean, it's one of the best of the year, but
Yeah,
it depends, if there's 500 shows that come out this year, it's in the top 400 for sure.
it's in the top 100. Come
Yeah, it's
on,
one of the best 400 out of 500 shows for sure.
I'll put it in the top 100.
Top 100 out of 500?
Yeah, of the year.
I mean, there are some really bad
I
shows. All right, sure.
mean, we haven't even. I mean, you're right. We still got.
I just meant saying that it's one of the top shows of the year.
Yeah.
Like, unless you're defining what those barriers are, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. No, you're right though. It's slim pickings this season, but
Yeah, this season's been kind of rough.
good show.
Like, it's good, and it's continuing. It's continuing into next season. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about that during our what we're watching and stuff if we're going to continue watching it, which I think we both are.
Oh
but,
yeah.
yeah. unless something goes really awry in the next few episodes, I suppose.
Well, we'll see, but I'm having concerns about next season also.
Have concerns about next season?
Yeah, if it's gonna be another one of these seasons.
Oh no,
No?
next season has so much good stuff
All right.
for me anyway.
You'll have to show me the way.
Like for me, there's so much.
There's a handful that I'm interested in, but there's only like one that I'm like, oh, that looks really good. You know, where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be watching that. It disappoints me, but
Yeah, we'll get into that next week.
there's some hype. There's some hype for the next episode.
There are shows that are coming next season that I've been looking forward to since before they were announced.
Okay.
Was not sure if they were coming, and then they were announced, and I was like, yes,
Well, I'm very excited.
finally, that thing that I've been wanting for years. Well, a year maybe. Anyway,
See, that's the thing is I know there's so many things I'm excited about coming this year, I think, or early next year, but like, yeah, most of that, yeah, none of them are really in next season. But
yeah,
anyway,
there's some things next season that I'm looking forward to, but
Cool.
we will talk about that next week. And so that just leaves us to talk about, not for an eternity, but about To Your Eternity.
we've already talked about To
Um,
Your Eternity for not an eternity, but quite a while.
Not quite.
If you put all
Um,
of our talks together about it.
So this one we just had one episode because we were actually you had
What?
fallen behind, so you had
I had
two,
two. I
right?
had two.
Yeah, okay. But I had one episode to watch.
But really, we're just talking about this arc of the island arc,
Yes.
mostly.
What's the name of the island? Jananda.
Oh yeah, Jananda, yeah,
Mhm.
Prison Island,
Yeah.
Jananda, yeah.
Yeah, that arc comes to an end, and another arc sort of comes to an end.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, we get it. We get an end to this season anyway. Kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
sort of spoilery. So hey, if you haven't watched it all yet, then just go stop this and go listen to our podcast next week about what we're going to be watching for next season. And then once you've watched all of To Your Eternity, then you can come back and hear about how Pioran died. I told you there were spoilers. I told you at least 30 seconds before I said it, so you can't be mad at me because I said it.
It's funny you did that because I was waiting for you to stop talking so I could just blurt it out.
Oh no, I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, this is all me.
I'm
baby.
gonna dig the grave and then jump into that fucker. Yeah, so this is the end of the Pioran arc, which it goes a little bit before, well, quite a bit before actually, I guess. The Pioran arc encompasses the what is it? Jananda arc? Jananda,
Yeah.
the Prison Island arc, and the what's his name?
Gugu.
Okay, I kept thinking Goku, and I knew that was wrong. I knew that was wrong.
We love Gugu. I don't know why that took
Yeah,
so long.
I don't know either. Yeah, so the Gugu arc and the Prison Island arc, Tonari maybe arc, I guess. She's like the main character of the Prison Island thing.
Who is?
Tonari?
Oh, Tonari. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gugu and Tonari, and then we've got Pioran that sort of encompasses both of those and actually even extends back into
To March.
into the
Yeah.
March arc a little bit, not from the beginning of the March
Yeah, it's
arc,
midway.
but yeah. She's been around for a while and she is gone now.
Yeah, she. We. It's funny because we had a bet of sorts, or
We did, and neither of us can remember the specifics of it. So I think we're splitting the
kind
result
of a
of
wash.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have to take each other out for sushi, split the bill.
No, I mean, well, the bet was paying for the emojis.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's what it was. Up to a total of, what did I say? $93 or something? However much it was I
Yeah, it
had
was
in my
whatever
pocket,
you had. I
right?
think it was 80 something. It was whatever
Oh,
you had.
maybe it was
in your wallet.
$83. Yeah. I don't no, it wasn't in my wallet. It was just in my pocket. But
Oh, okay.
my wallet just has cards and shit in it.
Oh, same.
There's no money in my wallet.
Yeah, me neither. Actually,
Money just goes in, like cash money just gets shoved into this one pocket and it just piles up until I have like $83 and then make a stupid bet and lose it all.
You know, that makes sense because
my
whenever
life.
that does happen, you're always like making a point to be like, I have money. It's here. It's
Yeah.
right here.
You want to see how much I have right now? It's not very much.
You got, yeah, you're still amassing it.
Yeah, I haven't recovered since Well, since I gave it all to you the last time, I think it's just $10.
Nice.
Yep, just $10.
A modest 10.
Yep.
But yes, so the bet was something like I was convinced that somebody we cared about was going to die, and I think I don't think it was explicitly stated, but the assumption was that they would be killed by the knockers because that's
Right.
been the case.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, because March was killed by what's her face.
But I do remember saying that one of the new characters from the island that we cared about.
Yes, yeah. But I remember Puron coming up though, and we were both like, "Nah, they won't kill her."
Yeah, that's probably true.
So
I don't think either of us thought that was coming, but
yeah,
that should have been our first clue that that's what was coming.
yes, yeah, and it was.
Oh, March? No, they'll never kill her.
She came in like a lion and left like a, I don't know,
a dead little girl.
Aw. But she lives on in spirit.
And I mean, all right, so not one of the new people on the island or anything, but March's older sister died during this arc. We
That's
didn't even
true.
get to see it.
Yeah,
That was probably more impactful than, I mean, prior to Puron anyway. Anything else?
Oh,
like
yeah.
any of the, like all these other people that we met on the island died. Don't care.
Yeah,
Barely knew them.
they failed to. And I guess I can't be too harsh on it because it's like they had a good track record or so far of getting us to care about some of these characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just.
And I was worried for a little bit because they got me on Tonari. Like I was on board like with Tonari. Like I cared enough about Tonari for a long time. Didn't, but then towards the end, I was like, oh man, she's gonna die. I know she's gonna die, and I'm gonna lose this bet. Not that it was about the bet, but like I felt like she was going to die, and that I was going to be wrong about that. Like I say again, mutually exclusive things, but she didn't.
Yeah,
which was nice.
It's just strange. All the other people that we didn't know much at all,
and didn't care
but were
that much
friends
about
with her.
Yeah,
it was just like okay.
I mean, they were all great people, I guess, but like we weren't given enough time to care about them, or for their deaths to be impactful. They seemed like they were definitely impactful on Fushi, and definitely on Tonari, who had known them for a long time.
Yeah, well, because Fushi can now, they're of his arsenal to transform into.
But yeah, so they meant more to Fushi than they did to us, which is, I guess, fine. But like they could have tried a little harder to make us at least care as much as Fushi did. I guess, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, Tonari. I cared about Tonari. Would have been sad to see her die. She didn't.
Yeah.
And then Puron.
Yeah, just of like.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we're not killing Tonari. No, you expect us to do that because we've made you care about Tonari, so you expect us to kill Tonari, and we're not going to kill her. Oh, sorry. Puron's dead now though.
Yeah, and she
like,
she just dies.
She's been there. Yeah, she just dies. She doesn't get killed or anything, but she just passes of natural causes, and I guess it's fairly touching.
Yeah, well, she has a moment where she kind of, in that state, I think, of already passing, but like, reaches out to Fushi's creator and is basically just kind of giving herself unto the process, and is like, take me now, and what did she say? She's like, let me come back as something that helps Fushi, and he's like, well, you won't have any of your, you won't have any.
You won't be you anymore. Basically.
Yeah, it'll just be like part of your essence or something, I guess. But she's like, yeah, that's fine. I consent, which is interesting. I'm curious how that'll play out. Like if it'll be obvious, or if it'll be like, I don't know what impact that would have. Like, oh, Puron was there with you. No,
I mean they showed her as like a younger version of her, right? Where she had sort of forgotten all of her experiences with Fushi and everything else, right? And I guess that's what she wished for, was like, don't make me come back as an old lady that Fushi can't use.
Yeah, let me be useful to him. Yeah.
Let me be useful. So her as a young woman, I guess more useful to Fushi. I don't know. We don't know what she knows, so or
Yeah.
not what she knows, but what she can do. I guess like what skills does she have? Like March picks fruits off trees.
Mhm.
Perona, is that her name?
Yeah, she can.
She can not shoot arrows worth of crap, but then now she can. I guess I don't know if she worked on that or something.
I guess. Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, I wish we kind of get more about what happened to Perona from the last we see her till she just gets killed off camera.
Right. I feel maybe they'll go back and do that. I don't know.
That would be cool.
It'd be interesting. What's evil lady's name?
Oh boy,
I
I
guess
know
I guess
it.
we're looking it up.
It's in my notes too. I don't have them in front of me. I actually kind of like character-wise. I think she's weak, but I was kind of into her near the end of this. Like she got these crazy eyes, and she was like trying to seduce Fushi, and but she was just like unhinged. And I liked her more like that, like compared to when she's like oh I'm in complete control. Like I I don't know if it's like a sick thing, but
I'm just curious how her character is going to come back, basically.
yeah.
Because she's not dead. She was just ditched by Fushi on the high seas, essentially.
Well, now the knockers have gotten to her, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
They sneak in the boat. Which previous to that they had an interesting moment. She and the little knocker like heart thingy, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And so that kind of set up, which was well done. Set up, her being attacked by him. But I'm curious what how that'll manifest. Like,
But
will
yeah,
she still be conscious and like they'll be working together, or it'll like give her powers, give her the knocker powers, but she'll still have her, agenda.
I mean, the knockers will just be able to turn into her, like when they steal one of the souls from Fushi. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm assuming. I don't know exactly how it's gonna go.
Or like on the island, it just animated all these like corpses, but that seems like a lame, end to her.
Hayase.
Oh, Hayase. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Finally looked it up. Her name is Hayase. But yeah, she just sort of drops out, and I mean, she essentially offers herself to Fushi as like, take me, kill me, use me,
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, I don't wanna.
She's got those crazy eyes.
Yeah, she is fucking crazy, man. And so he passes, and the knockers sort of take her up on the offer, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
So now he's made an enemy, I guess. Sort of. I don't know.
Does this also?
It's interesting.
Does this also set up like Fushi having sex eventually? Imagine it's going to be part of his journey of experiencing the human.
Yeah. I mean, so the end of the last episode, we see a quite aged Fushi, right?
Yeah, and like the teaser for what's to come.
Is that what it was? It was in the teaser?
I thought so.
I didn't figure there was actually a teaser at the end of this, but maybe, I guess.
Well, I thought it was just like a quick like.
Yeah. It was pretty quick.
Yeah.
There wasn't
so
a
might
whole
not have
lot
been like
to
a
it.
post-credits thing, but like
it was a quite aged Fushi. Like he had not changed out of the boy form for quite some time.
Yeah.
By the time we see him in this,
which was the case after Gugu died. So it's like part of his
right. But I mean,
mourning.
this is a lot longer.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's like whenever someone really close to him dies, he seems to.
But somehow he's managed to avoid the knockers for that long.
Yeah,
I guess,
which would be
which is crazy in and of itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it's going the next season, but I'm excited for fall 2022.
Yep, it's right around the corner.
Yep, only just over a year away. That next season of that.
I'm looking.
Or you can just go and read the manga, which is in how many chapters? I don't even remember. There was like 37 volumes or something. No, that can't be right.
Yeah,
that sounds wrong. Anyway, there was a lot of chapters and volumes
Mm.
available. 137 chapters. Maybe that's what it
Okay.
was. The 37 sticks with
Like
me for some reason.
13 books or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm.
Anyway, that's all out there and available to read, and I might read all of it before the next season of the anime comes out. To be honest,
I might check
we'll
that
see.
out.
We'll see.
I'm curious. There's this girl on YouTube. I'll shout her out, Murphy Napier, I think her last name is. But she's a book YouTuber, a booktuber as they're called. I found out.
Are they?
Yeah, there's
Alright.
this whole like world of book YouTubers. I had no
Mm.
idea, but I got into her because, and I mentioned her before because I got obsessed with One Piece late last year, and as I caught up, I was I kind of want to share the experience with someone. No one I know watches the dang thing because it's so long. And why would you? That's why I put it off for so many years.
Oh, I talked to someone today that is caught up on One Piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. It's not me.
No, I talked to someone else today that I actually told about the podcast as well.
Oh, nice.
Because he's like a friend of my nephew. That,
Okay.
Anyway,
Right on.
if you're listening, what's up?
Yeah. Shout out to you. Good job on being caught up on One Piece. But anyway, this lady Murphy has started to get into One Piece. At first, she didn't know how long it was. She just had this like persistent commenter who just kept recommending One Piece.
Mm.
But the only thing she had read manga wise prior to that was A Silent Voice, which is written by the same person that wrote or is writing To Your Eternity.
Right.
And so To Your Eternity is now she's way into One Piece, and she's not caught up yet, but she's obsessed, and I love it. Like I've had someone to go on this journey with. But she's talked recently about like with a manga she wants to read next, and that's one of them. So I'm kind of hoping. I really love her analysis and stuff. So I'm kind of hoping, that if anything, that would probably get me to read the manga before next fall. But we'll see.
I was just thinking. So, people who talk about anime on YouTube are called Anitubers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shouldn't people that talk about books on YouTube be called BooTubers
Those are the Halloween
rather than
YouTubers.
BookTubers? I don't know why. I don't know. BooTubers. It just makes sense.
BooTubers.
Like potatoes that contain ghostly spirits. BooTubers.
Nice.
Uh,
And you're a goober.
I'm so funny. I'm a peanut?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're
I'm a peanut.
goober tuber.
Goober tuber.
Anyway, I there's parts of To Your Eternity that I, as a whole that I really love. Or looking at it as a whole, there's parts that I really love, like scenes and things that it builds up to. But then there's also sections where it loses me, and I don't understand what's happening, and I don't get the intention behind some of the scenes. But that being said, I look forward to more. I don't think I'm as hyped as you are, but I won't turn down an opportunity to continue this journey.
I was definitely more into the initial parts. So we had like the boy, and then we had March, and then him with Pieron before getting to Gugu. But then Gugu eventually got me as well.
Yeah, me as well, yeah.
But then the Jananda arc didn't really sell me, but it's like, I don't know, like if you look at it on a scale of like the boy's story is this big, and I'm holding my fingers about an inch apart here.
One episode.
And then we've got like March's story, which this is about 3 inches I'm holding it here. And then we've got, I guess the Pieran stuff. I don't know.
It
Like
overlaps,
there's
yeah.
like these individual markers, which I don't know. Like I think if you mapped it all out, like timeline wise and stuff like that, is like an exponentially increasing story timeline, where Jananda, I feel like can't be done basically. Like it was too short to actually be done.
I see.
And Tsunari, who is still alive, is going to come back.
Probably.
And the Jananda arc is going to somehow continue, right?
Mm.
I don't know. It's just like visualizing it as like a exponentially growing story arc with overlapping bits, right?
Yeah.
It feels like that's the structure that exists And I wouldn't put it past the mangaka who wrote this to have thought that out and built this in that way. And I don't know. Um,
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that there's some master plan here, some roadmap. Like, that's, well thought out. I don't know, like, cuz
I feel like there has to be, and like the whole idea that they went 20 episodes on this, um, like I guess I see it now because it's the end of the Piran arc.
Mhm.
But did we need to complete the Piran arc, or could we have ended at the Gugu arc, right?
Yeah, which I
And
feel like
that would have been like the first season, and then we would have picked up again with the Jananda arc, and then probably gone into whatever arc is next, which then overlaps with the second Tonari arc, maybe, or
yeah.
something. I don't know. Like there's structure here. I can see it. I can't see it clearly. It's all still sort of blurry, but I know that there's structure here. Like
Yeah.
I can see that there has to be structure here, right?
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying there, and I like that idea because it mirrors Fushi's growth, because he like the boy is the first impactful encounter he has
Right.
with a human, and it's just one episode,
It's
and
very
it's
short, right?
self-contained,
Yeah.
and it's kind of because he was just an orb, and then a rock, and then a wolf, and then a human after the end of that. But yeah, to your point, from then on, his being and his world starts to get more complicated and more complex,
Sort
and
of.
so the story starts to get longer and more involved.
So when you were saying that, I was thinking like he's that and that, and then that and right. Like that's the growth I'm talking about.
Where it's like
It's not like he's a rock and then he's a wolf and then he's the boy.
mhm,
He's the rock and then he's the rock and the wolf
mhm.
and then he's the rock and the wolf and the boy.
Yeah,
And right, so it's again that exponential growth.
yeah, it's all cumulative, and and I like that metaphor of these experiences you take with you, and they become a part of you, and it shapes who you are. Like it's a nice like literal metaphor for life, I think. Even though he's immortal, you're just seeing it like in a in like a case study or something. But
Yeah, it sort of makes me wonder where it goes from here. Like not story wise, but like if we're continuing this sort of story growth thing as it's been done so far, then the next arc has to be really long, right?
yeah,
But it can encompass multiple other arcs within it, which then also have to be longer. And it just seems like, it's
if that's the
how does that translate into an anime that is not like coming out every week like One Piece, right?
yeah.
How do you break that up? Like how do you pick where to make the cuts to end a season and then take a year before the next season, right?
And if that's really the case, then there's got to be like some end point, where it's like you can't, you can only take that so far when you're
Is there an end point?
it.
I don't think there has to be. Well,
maybe not, but if it keeps getting more and more complex, then it gets to a point where I don't know. You just imagine that
where the next arc takes an infinite amount of time, right? And I guess that's where you end it. You end it with you have to end it open because the rest after this point is just infinite. It's eternity, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're getting to your eternity, right? So
Yeah.
that's where we're going. We have a roadmap. We know where we're going. I don't know. I feel I trust the writer. It seems like it's sort of a magnum opus sort of thing for her.
Mhm.
I think it's a female mangaka, if I remember right.
Yoshitoki Oyama. Yep. She is 32.
Okay. I thought I remember that right. But yeah, at some point you get like this is assuming I'm even right about this sort of exponential growth within the arcs and
Yeah.
everything, and the overlapping arcs and everything. But at some point, you get to the point where like the growth becomes infinite, because that's what happens with exponential growth. Like eventually, you're tending towards infinity, right?
Yeah.
And so at some point, the only thing left is the infinite, and that is, I guess, where you have to end the story and just say, and then the story goes on infinitely from there.
Yeah. It's kind of got like a free pass to not have like a lot of pressure on the ending, you know?
Yeah.
It's like,
I feel like it doesn't need to have a closed ending at all. Like
Yeah.
it's very likely leading towards an open ending, because eternity is eternity. There's no way you could cover the whole story, right?
yeah. True.
Anyway,
I agree.
all right. I've been babbling about that for long enough now. I think I've made my point,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
you've agreed with me at least 17 times, which means I probably should stop talking.
No, I'm with you on that. I guess the only thing I have to say about this season, because I was thinking about Hayase, since we now know her name again. But yeah, she bothered me during the March stuff, because like character wise, because she wasn't consistent. You know, there was that part where like they were all chained up, and then she just unchained them and like bought them, you know, treated them out on the town, you know, and then locked them up again after that.
Yeah,
And then, but like now having the
kind of weird, but
now having the context of her like coming back and like being like this evil, almost, you know, maybe not evil, but like deranged mastermind of, you know, she's cooking up something, right? We don't even really know what's going on with her, and she almost seems like a completely different person from the last time we saw her. Like it seems like she's gone through some shit, and much like Perona, I would like to know, like, that's stuff that seems pertinent and could have added a lot of depth to their characters and like the stakes of everything happening.
I think there's definitely a chance that we go back and maybe revisit some of that stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would like that, because otherwise it falls flat to me. I'll be scratching my head wondering what the point of Hayase is or was at all. Like if
Well, but
like I'm sure she's coming back.
She's coming back. So.
But I need more on her story, you know, to like that. Like,
well, yeah, but okay, so she comes back, and I mean, obviously, at some point, we're going to have a flashback to her killing Perona. I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Must be.
I think it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But I mean, I get what you're saying about her being an inconsistent character at the beginning, but I sort of feel like maybe that was intentional in some ways. Just that I don't know.
I just thought at the end of this 20 episode run, we'd have enough information to kind of understand her, you know, but I don't. I feel like I never did. Like at first, it all seemed clear. Like she was just you know, there's these tribal lands, and there's these sacrificial rites, and she's just, you know, she has like her own like power and up to her own stuff, but she's also making sure this goes according to plan.
Right.
But now it seems like she's like given up on everything just to chase Fushi around the world.
Right. And I mean, she said since she first saw him, she sort of became obsessed or whatever. And that's sort of, in some small way, not exactly, but a little bit, explains her inconsistent behavior, in that she's trying to find a way to win Fushi over. Like, she's like, oh, do I be nice to them? Do I do this? Do I do that? Like,
yeah,
maybe. It sounds like I'm making excuses at this point, I guess, but...
No, I hear what you mean. I mean, it is kind of like speculation, but that is what she's doing. Because she says as much, you know, like, oh, you can't, to the knockers, she's like initially talking like, you can't take him by force. You gotta, you know, offer to help him or invite him in or something like that. And it's like, okay.
So all of that was her learning about Fushi and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is, I don't know. She's interesting. I want to like her, but she's not, as it stands right now, she's not that compelling of a villain. As are the knockers. I mean, the knockers are as, you know, nondescript as Fushi as an orb, you know, where it's like...
the knockers are just like the unexpected, right?
Yeah.
Like they're always like, when you don't expect them, there they are.
Yeah, they come at the worst time. And, there's probably a metaphor there too, which is fine. But yeah, the Hayase, it seems like they're really trying to go like she's this like really cunning, interesting villain, but just because she showed up after not being around and has crazy eyes and kills Perona off screen, I don't know. I just wanted more. That's it. And I hope I get it. Hopefully I do.
Is it expect the unexpected? Is that the idea that the knockers represent? To expect the unexpected? Because that's the tagline for Big Brother. I brought it back around, people.
Oh,
that's
wow.
it. I win. We're done.
Nice. Mic drop.
Unlike anime, UMLIKEANIME. Good night.
See you guys.